Welcome to the Cryptonomatron. Today I'm doing an ICO review of DigCoin. Now DigCoin is a script algo coin that's having an ICO, and you're going to be able to use the DigCoin to buy cloud mining contracts. That's essentially what it is. So let's take a look at why they want to do this and what I think about this ICO. So the competition in this sector is quite robust. However, it's a different kind of competition from other ICOs that are launching projects that are similar to other projects, because cloud mining, if you've got a cloud mining platform and you're launching your ICO to raise some money for equipment or capital, then and trading back the tokens that you're selling for hash power, mining power, it's a little bit of a different proposition, and as such, you're not really in direct competition with any other companies. You're relying on people to come into your ICO on the basis that they will get a reduced or a discount on these cloud mining contracts from your cloud mining company. So Envion was one that I wanted to bring to your attention simply because they were so successful, and it shows the depth of interest in cloud mining at the moment. Now, they did have a off-grid solution of a shipping container, which you can plug into renewable energy sources, move around. But essentially, I didn't find there was much special in that, to be honest. I just thought, it's not a new concept, using a shipping container and filling it with ant miners or GPUs. However, they were very successful, raised over $100 million, so congratulations to them. And again, you will probably be able to pay for the cloud mining contracts with your Envion tokens. The Terra Miner is another one. Again, I haven't looked at this in depth. It is just another cloud mining ICO. They are going to give you daily payouts if you hold the tokens or you buy cloud mining contracts from them. Similar concept to DigCoin. ICO's running at the moment. And then there's also Hydro Miner. Their sales pitch is basically on environmentally conscious and sustainable mining more than anything else. They have a couple of different tokens. One's a security token, and another one, I think, just to purchase cloud mining contracts. Let's have a little look. If it loads, there you go. So you can actually buy the other token, the H2O, on COS and Ether Delta, and possibly Nebula, which is an exchange I've never used. But the H3O token is a security token, and that's going to have another ICO soon. So there you go. They raised 8,676 Ether by giving out the H2O token. So, and yes, it is a voucher for mining time in the facilities of Hydro Miner, as I suspected. And they've got their locations already, which are deployed in, near hydroelectric power facilities, so they get a discount with the electricity, and as such, that was their selling point, that they're using renewable energy. So those are three of the competitors, if you'd like to call them that, I wanted to point out. However, there's always going to be demand, I feel, for new cloud mining operations, and as such, these are fairly untested companies. We know of only really two that have been majorly successful, and they are Genesis Mining, obviously, and Hashflare. And it's debatable on the profitability of either, because some algorithms are more profitable than others, and of course it's all dependent on the price or the value of the cryptocurrency, say Bitcoin, at any given time. If you're mining Bitcoin on SHA-256, it's all dependent on the price of Bitcoin, and also the difficulty as well goes up and down, but obviously over time it decreases. So you've got to really factor in all of this before you make a decision to buy any cloud mining contracts from any company, whether off ICO or one of the more established companies. So let's look at the problems DigCoin want to solve. Well, one of the first ones is mining is not cost effective for everyone. If you've got a high electricity bill or high electricity cost per kilowatt hour, you're not going to be able to do it. It's also not cost effective in that people can't get their hands on the equipment. It costs a lot more for an individual to buy an Antminer than it does for a company, and the same can be said for GPUs as well. It costs a lot more for an individual to buy a GPU than it does for the mining company, because they buy in bulk, therefore they get discounts. Plus, it's easier for them to get their hands on them because they are in contact with the suppliers, and they can make bulk orders fairly easily, where you have to scrabble around for any that are available from Amazon or any of your local computer shops. And at the moment, as we know, GPUs are sold out worldwide, so it's difficult. And another problem is that many people don't have the technical skills to mine. Obviously with the increase in popularity of mining, more people are adapting and getting the skills, but a lot of people won't be able to do it. So cloud mining takes that away. You just pay for the mining contract, and other people look after the equipment, maintain the equipment, and it basically just gives you a payout every day, which is nice and simple. You've got a dashboard, you log in, you see your mining contract, you see what you're earning, and it's as easy as that. And another biggie is the necessary power supply is not available for bigger operations. So, I'm running a couple of mining rigs in my house, and I'm pretty much at full capacity on my power supply as it stands, and I probably wouldn't be able to add any more, safely, and in the knowledge that I could leave the house with them running and not have any issues. So bigger power supplies are necessary for bigger operations. So if you've got any aspirations of having a proper mining farm, that's going to bring in some decent returns, then the power supply is your biggest concern. And for domestic locations, not always possible to obtain. You have to go to a commercial location and obtain a commercial power supply. And again, no capacity to set up and maintain a successful mining environment. People are busy, they don't have the time to spend monitoring and maintaining the equipment to have a successful mining farm. People work day jobs, mining's maybe just a hobby, and they don't want to dedicate themselves full time to it. And another big problem is there are very few cloud mining products available. Now, we mentioned a couple in the competition section, which were Genesis Mining and Hashflare, and those are the two biggest that everybody will have heard of. But other than that, there's very few trusted mining products that are available, so you can't really, you don't have a big selection. And the other issue as well is that these bigger companies, Genesis Mining in particular, sell out of the best mining contracts very quickly. So the most profitable ones over the last few months have been the SHA-256 Bitcoin mining contracts, and they sell out like hotcakes. And as a result, Genesis Mining have had to pre-sell their contracts. So they sell them before they're actually available, so they can buy more equipment and get them up and running as quick as they can. So you have to wait for maybe 3 to 5 months before you actually get any daily returns, which is, it's bordering on the ridiculous, really. Another issue is substantial markup on cloud mining contracts. You've got Genesis and Hashflare. They do mark up their contracts quite significantly, and that's going to be a problem for return of investment if, again, as I said before, the cryptocurrency you're mining doesn't go up in value, or if the difficulty increases to the point where you're not making enough of it every day to make a profit. So you've got to be very careful when it comes to cloud mining. You've got to do your sums. You've got to know what you're buying into. And again, if you can use DigCoin to buy cloud mining contracts on Digital Excavator for a discount. So you're essentially saving money. You buy the DigCoin at the ICO and you use that to purchase cloud mining contracts. It will save you money, giving you more of a chance for your return of investment. And just to compound what I said, existing cloud mining companies overcharge for hash power. Yet if you do your calculations correctly and you invest wisely and you do your sums, then yes, you can make a return. I've made a return from Genesis Mining. I'm currently making a return from Hashflare at the moment, but they do overcharge, really. Let's be honest. The contracts, especially for the more lucrative contracts like SHA-256, they do overcharge for them. So having a cryptocurrency where you can purchase the cloud mining contracts cheaper is a big benefit. So what is DigCoin and what are their aims? Well, it was created to fund a website, a cloud mining company called Digital Excavators, hence my little hint on Twitter, what I was going to review today. Now, cloud mining will obviously be quite lucrative for the future. If cryptocurrencies continue growing in value, then cloud mining is a way to engage in mining the cryptocurrency without actually having the equipment, having to do the maintenance and the setup and running the equipment yourself. So it's quite attractive to a lot of wannabe hobbyists that don't necessarily have the skills or the finances even to buy the equipment or the patience and time to dedicate to running it. So cloud mining is very, very popular. We know this. There's billions of dollars being spent in the cloud mining space. And as I said in the competition section, a lot of ICOs launching with the intention of building cloud mining facilities. So this is no exception. So the DigCoin will be an initial value of 50 cents for the ICOs, but you can get it a little cheaper, in fact, 50% cheaper at pre-sale for 25 cents per token or coin. So there's a incentive to get involved in this ICO quicker rather than later. Now the use of the coin essentially will be to purchase cloud mining contracts. Firstly from Digital Excavators when they launched their cloud mining in May, and we'll take a look at their website in a bit. But also what DigCoin want to do is they want to have the ability to purchase and use DigCoin to purchase cloud mining contracts from other cloud mining companies. Now that's where I saw the real value in DigCoin. Now I'm a miner already. I do have 2 mining rigs at home at the moment that are sitting here humming away. And I've also got cloud mining contracts with Hashflare and Genesis Mining. So I'm no stranger to cloud mining either. I do see it as a lucrative investment if you pick the right contracts. So when I heard about this ICO, I thought, this is interesting because it's slightly under the radar, this one. And it offers the opportunity to pick up the cloud mining contracts from Digital Excavator for cheaper than you would later on for fiat money. So plan in advance, get involved with the ICO, and you could potentially pick up some bargain mining contracts. So the market for Bitcoin mining continues to grow. Cloud mining is still very lucrative if you get the right contracts. As I said before, you really have to do your math and your sums and make sure you can get a return of investment, and also depending on the length of contract, whether you can make profit as well. So you've got to take a lot of things into account, as you know, not least of all volatility and increasing difficulty of mining. So just a little snippet from this article. Bitcoin.com is partnered with a large American-based data center, and they purchased last year, about 8-9 months ago, $15 million worth of Bitcoin mining equipment. You can see it there. It's quite an extensive warehouse setup they have, and have sold more than $8 million in cloud mining contracts. I believe they've probably sold a lot more. Bitcoin mining and cloud mining in general is on the grow, and it can be part of your portfolio, balanced part of your portfolio. I wouldn't ever suggest anybody to go full into cloud mining, but there's no reason why, with sensible investments in certain algorithms, that you can't make a decent return on them. And as you can see here, we have a graph demonstrating that from 16th of July 2017 to the 3rd of September 2017, that high yield cloud mining was a lot more profitable than just standard cloud mining, and also hodling onto your Bitcoin. So it can make up a successful part of your portfolio. It's a billion-dollar industry now. I mean, I hate to think the sorts of money that Hashflare and Genesis Mining are making. They are making some serious money, and again, their contracts are selling out rapidly. Anything that's even slightly profitable, like the Bitcoin SHA-256 contracts from Genesis Mining, sell out very, very quickly indeed, within 24 hours. I think the last contract was released, and that is at pre-sale as well. You're not getting your you're not getting your daily payout for another 3 or 4 months until they can buy the equipment. So the manufacturers are struggling to make the amount of miners. That's not just Bitmain. We're talking about GPU miners. They're unavailable at the moment. So the market is heavy demand at the moment, and that's the key here is, demand is way outweighing supply. So, an economist, would tell you that's a very good sign from an investment standpoint. So referring to the white paper, and it's very simply written. They don't muck about here. They're not trying to boggle your mind with technical specifications. The most important thing to note here is that the DigCoin is primarily going to be used to purchase cryptocurrency cloud mining contracts. So it is a proof of work, proof of stake hybrid blockchain. You'll be able to stake it, mine it as well. The POW algorithm is the script algorithm. The block reward is 3 dig, block time 120 seconds. Every block it retargets. Proof of stake reward will be 10% annually, and proof of stake minimum staking time will be an hour before you start to see any rewards, and then unlimited, you can leave your stake on there as much as you want. The Coinbase maturity will be 15 blocks, and the max supply, the total supply of the coin will be 70 million, and there will be 50 million pre-mined coins, so only 20 million will be available to be mined. So let's look at Digital Excavators as part of the tech section, because that is the company they're partnered with to do the cloud mining. So the DigCoin will be able to be used on the Digital Excavator site to buy the mining contracts. Now, if we look at the pricing here, this is where it gets interesting, because you will get a 20% discount if you use the DigCoin. That's the incentivization for the DigCoin and the value in the DigCoin. So what I see here is a potential for a growth in value of the DigCoin based on the growth in value of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, or any of the other coins that you can mine on any of the cloud mining websites you can pay with Digital Excavators being the first one. And of course, as Bitcoin gets more expensive, the cloud mining contracts will in turn get more expensive. Therefore, your DigCoin will increase in value. Now that seems very enticing for me, I think is the word I'm looking for. Now, just as a price comparison here, we'll use Bitcoin as the example because it's the only real cloud mining contract I am interested in at the current time. So if we take 1 terahash of mining power, that's going to cost $85 from Digital Excavators, and obviously with a 20% discount, that's pretty reasonable. And if we go to Hashflare here, we can pick up the same amount. Let's go to 1 terabyte here, or 1 terahash, and we see that 1 terahash is 220 US dollars for the same 1 year length of mining contract. So your potential returns here are going to be a lot higher using Digital Excavators than using Hashflare. And now if they can pull this off, this is going to be very lucrative for any cryptocurrency miners that are getting in on Bitcoin contracts. So let's hope that these figures are accurate and they don't just suddenly bump up the price of the mining contracts after the ICO or closer to May when they launch. One thing I didn't mention in the last section, but we need to discuss it, is the daily fee. The Bitcoin mining contracts have a daily fee, and you'll need to include that in your calculations to make sure your mining contract is profitable, and it increases as hash power increases as well. The Litecoin mining contract and the Ethereum mining contract have no fee. So let's have a look at the Ethereum mining contract and see whether that's going to be profitable at the moment. So for $900, we can buy 50 mega hashes of Ethereum. Go there. Okay, there we are. So you're with $900, 20% off if you use the DigCoin. So let's find out what that is. Minus 20%. I've got my little traditional calculator. So that's $720 it's going to cost you for the 50 mega hash Ethereum or Ethash mining contract. And it's going to return you $1,231 a year, with Ethereum currently around $800. So that's a pretty good return. I would suggest that Ethereum's going to go higher. you know, you may have to take that into account. And of course, when I'm mining, I always look at the future value of the currency. I don't tend to look at the current value. I look at, you know, I look at what it could possibly be worth in 6 months or a year's time when your mining contract's up. So there's a lot of good potential there to make some reasonable returns. And even, you know, if you're just interested in actually mining Ethereum and holding it, then there's also a case to be argued there as well. So the Litecoin contract for 1 year for 200 mega hashes is $1,150. So let's put that in the mining calculator and see what we get. So say 200. And there we are. Not as lucrative as the other mining contracts, certainly, but you still will get a return. And of course, a lot about cloud mining is you're putting your faith in the cryptocurrency that you're mining, or at least you should be, because you're hoping it's going to rise in value over time to give you a greater return. So if you mine a lot of it, you get paid in the cryptocurrency you're mining, excuse me, so, say it's Litecoin, then you hold that. If you believe that Litecoin is going to be $1,200 in 6 months' time per Litecoin, then you know you're going to make a lot more money. And that's essentially what I try to do when I'm mining crypto as well, is to look at the future value and not just the immediate, right now, daily returns. So you will be able to stake the coins as well. It's going to be a script algorithm coin. It's a proof of stake and proof of work mechanism. So it will be a hybrid algorithm, if you like, consensus algorithm. And you'll be able to stake for rewards. You'll be able to buy into cloud mining contracts from digital excavators. And you will also be able to trade the coin on external exchanges as well. So you can purchase them for 25 cents, I believe, per DIG coin on the pre-sale, and then at the ICO they will go up to 50 cents. So there are a few red flags with this ICO, and the first one is there's no company address or phone number on the website. There's an email contact, and that's all. Now, if you know you're trying to raise money, if you're a legit business, you really have to have a company address and phone number for contacts on your website. Doesn't matter if you're a small company, which this one appears to be. You really need to have full disclosure about where you're located, your company address, where it's registered, everything, and a phone number should people actually want to call and contact you. Number two, private domain registration for digital excavators. There's no information as to who registered it, and you know, they say that it's a legit company, but surely they should disclose that with the domain registration. With DigCoin.co, the domain registration is in Canada. Another issue, the team has been associated with BitConnect and RegalCoin before, two Ponzi schemes, two MLM marketing schemes, and that's a bit of a concern. Now, I don't know how involved they were previously with these scams, but BitConnect and RegalCoin were basically both exposed as multi-level marketing schemes. People lost a lot of money, and Scott Ellis was running BitConnect and RegalCoin pages on his Facebook, which I discovered, which isn't a good sign, and it doesn't really give investor confidence. And the other issue that I found was there was no company information available. I searched for Digital Excavators LLC, couldn't find any issues. So, you know, I'd like to see some clarification from the team about their legitimacy, the actual company setup, and contact details, etc. So the crowd sale starts in a few hours' time. It will be at 25 cents per DigCoin initially, and there will be 2 million DigCoins distributed, and that is going to end on the 3rd of March. Then the main sale, the ICO main sale, will begin on the 3rd of March. There will be 33 million DigCoins available, and that will run till the 14th of April, but it's going to double in price to 50 cents per DigCoin. So I would suggest, if you're really interested in this project, get in as early as you can, because I'm pretty sure if there's a demand for this, it will sell out and you'll end up having to pay double the amount. So you can get your mining contracts for even less money if you manage to get the coins for 25 cents. The distribution is as follows: 35 million of the total 70 million will be for the pre-sale and ICO, 14 million for development, and 10 million for mining rewards and 10 million for staking rewards respectively. There will be a further 1 million coins for bounty rewards, and the percentages you can see there. Any coins that they don't sell during the crowd sale will be burned, and proof of the burn will be supplied to the public. So as per the coin distribution chart here, we can see that there is 1 million tokens for bounty rewards, but I couldn't find any bounty campaign. And I did look quite extensively through Bitcoin Talk Forum and on the website and everything. So if I missed it, I'm sorry. If you know of one, please post in the comments below. But as far as I know, I can't find any information on it, so that's a bit strange. So the roadmap, they started back in June 2017. November 2017, they did project research, roadmap conception, and scope definition. December 2017, they registered digital excavators and also developed the white paper. This month, or this quarter even, they are undertaking legal consultation, marketing plan was developed, the coin was developed, and also the website was developed. In February 2018, the marketing deployment begins, the website registration opens, and the ICO is going to start, the pre-ICO, on the 24th, which is in a few hours' time at 5 AM GMT. Next month, we'll see the main sale proper. There will be a halfway point referral giveaway, release the Block Explorer to the public, and they will release the Windows, Mac OS, Linux wallet for download on the website as well. And the external exchange will take place. That is, you'll be able to exchange your coins on coinexchange.io and yobit.net. In April, the conclusion of the ICO referral giveaway with a further 55,000 DIG coins. You can begin staking rewards. 10% reward will be given to you annually if you stake, and the mining will start as well with 3 DIG per block available for miners, and they hope to be listed on CoinMarketCap by then. In May, the mining contracts will open with digital excavators, and August 2018, digital excavators farm will expand with more mining equipment, and they will finalize their incentives with global cloud mining companies to accept DigCoin. So they will essentially be going to other mining companies, cloud mining companies, and saying, will you accept our cryptocurrency? So that'll be interesting to see if they can get any of those on board. So on to the team now, and more red flags when we take a closer look at the team. Scott Ellis, founder and CEO, very limited blockchain experience, used to manage Facebook pages for Regal Coin and BitConnect, not official ones, but it shows he was involved with those two companies. And I would suggest that he has never been involved in blockchain technology for very long. If he was involved with either of those companies, it would suggest that he's being, shall we say, less than honest with his experience in blockchain. This Joe Malinovsky, same again, no evidence on his LinkedIn page that he was ever involved with any of these multiple Fortune 500 companies. This guy down here, this guy Ben, he doesn't even have a LinkedIn page, so we can't confirm who he is. And this Aram Sarkisian, director of social media, it says there, his LinkedIn page has only got 2 connections, which indicates it's possibly a fake page. Or he has not been on it that long, which again, if you're a director of social media, you'd have a fair few number of followers either on Twitter, LinkedIn, or wherever. This guy, Paul Goodman, legal counsel, he apparently is the owner of this legal company, this law company in America, and I emailed them to get some information about the company, and lo and behold, they didn't respond. So again, a lot of red flags and a lot of question marks behind the team. So looking at partnerships now, the only partnership that really is of importance is this digital excavators with DigCoin, and they've also got the legal counsel as well. Aside from that, they don't have any other partnerships which would aid this project in success. And again, that is a negative for me. I like to see partnerships that have proven history of running ICOs, proven history of the legal aspects of ICOs, and also marketing, social media campaigns, etc. And unfortunately, this project does not have any of those, which is another concern for me. So community support for this project is very, very poor. This has no hype behind it whatsoever, and the community support is just simply isn't there to drive this project forward. At the current levels, it will not get any traction on exchanges whatsoever. They've only got 26 followers on Twitter, or 22 followers on Twitter, I should say, and only 71 members of the Telegram group. Long, long way to go before this manages to establish itself as a proper bona fide project. Okay, so on to the verdict, and those of you who have watched the whole video will know where I'm sort of going with this project already. But let's have a look at the positives first, as we normally do. So number one, there are staking rewards for token holders. So if you buy into the ICO, you can stake the tokens at a later date for a 10% annual return. There are discounts on cloud mining for DigCoin holders. So if you are interested in buying into a cloud mining contract, you can hold the tokens in the meantime, the coins in the meantime, and then when they start the cloud mining in May, you can get a 20% discount. Number three, Digital Excavators apparently offers cheap cloud mining contracts, so you know that could be advantageous if they remain at the same prices after the ICO and when they launch the mining in May. And number four, cloud mining is popular and it's big business. There's a lot of money involved in it, you know, and you can make a lot of money out of it as well if you get involved. But again, it is risky and you've got to know what you're doing. You can't just buy a cloud mining contract and expect to make money. You have to ascertain all the factors and take everything into account, such as difficulty, halving, fees that you've got to pay the mining company, length of contract, etc. So there's a lot of factors you have to be experienced before you get involved with cloud mining. This isn't for beginners. So the negatives of this project, unfortunately, far outweigh any of the positives. Number one, they effectively don't have a working product. The cloud mining isn't running yet. So you can't buy any cloud mining contracts, which means you're effectively taking a risk by getting involved with the ICO. Number two, there's no evidence of a facility, software, or any mining equipment whatsoever. That's just not acceptable for a project that's trying to raise this amount of money. So we really, as investors, we need to see some evidence that they have the facility, they have the cloud mining control software, or they even have some of the equipment running already. But there is absolutely no evidence of any of that on their website or any of their social media at all. Number three, there's too many red flags for this project. This project has 4 red flags that I noted, and I would add the team is another red flag to that as well, as the team is not verifiable. All the members are not verifiable, and they look like they have, shall we say, embellished their profiles on the website. And when you check on their LinkedIns, they are not that experienced, or not as experienced as they claim to be. So again, red flags for me, and that's a big negative for this project as well. Number 4, essentially they're asking investors to take a big gamble on this project with no risks to those actually running the project. They don't appear to have done anything except build a website, and that's just not acceptable. If they're asking us to risk our money in this project, surely we can ask them, what have you risked? What have you put into the project? Have you put your life savings into this project? Do you believe in it yourself? It's just far too big a gamble. And number 5, I feel, and knowing cloud mining companies already, like Genesis and Hashflare and some of the other ones, there's no real need for a blockchain or a token. And indeed, by that rationale, no need for an ICO either. If you're trying to raise money, you should go to venture capital firms, lay out your idea, basically tell them how much money you're willing to invest in the project, and find the initial finance that way. And then later on down the line, sure, if you expand or whatever, then maybe that would be the time to have an ICO, and use blockchain with your software, and have a token. I just think it's too rushed at the moment. So number 6, again, I discussed it at length in the team section. The team is inexperienced, young, and it doesn't have provable past success. Now, when I look at a team, I like to see 3 different things on the team. I like to see 1, somebody or people that are very experienced in the industry that they are basically going to disrupt, and they simply don't have that. These guys have not been involved with blockchain that long, I believe, and I don't think they've got the experience to make this a success. The second thing I always look for in a team is the blockchain experts, i.e. the developers, the people behind the software. This team simply doesn't have them. Number 3, the other thing that I look at is entrepreneurial success in previous small businesses, startups, etc., etc. And again, this team does not have it. So the team for me, another negative here. Number 7, there is no venture capital acquired for this project, which indicates a lack of a solid business plan. And again, as I said, that's another warning sign, because normally when you have a business, if you know anything about business, and I've started several during my extensive experience, if you could call it that, you really need a solid business plan which you show to the investors. The investors then invest in your company, and then after that, if you're a cryptocurrency company and you want to run an ICO, then you have a white paper that details what the investors in the token or the coin are going to get, and what the objective of the technology is. So you really need a business plan anyway to describe how you're going forward. And again, if you haven't got any venture capital backing you with which to properly start the business and get a working product, then again, it's another caution. Another thing that's a problem with this ICO, there's no hype behind it. Nobody's talking about it, nobody knows about it, and that's a problem, because without hype, there can't be traction on the exchanges. And number 9, there's no community backing for this project. There is not enough people following it. There's not enough people know about it. It doesn't have people that are willing to get involved. And there's no developers working behind it. There's absolutely no community support. Number 10, there's no code on GitHub either. We don't see a smart contract. We don't have any evidence that this token is or this coin actually exists. We need to see that before we invest. We need to see something of substance. If they don't have a working product, then at least some code. Number 11, and again, I'm going to start highlighting this for any US companies, because I think this company is based in the US anyway, Sacramento or something, the CEO is based in. And I think being based in the US at this current stage makes any project in cryptocurrency space a regulatory risk. And the reason I say that is because the SEC is continuing its hardened stance on ICOs and on cryptocurrencies in general, and I don't think that's going to change. I think that it makes it more of a risk than it should be if your company's based in the US. If you're based in Gibraltar, Switzerland, Singapore even, or Estonia, you've got no problems, because they are welcoming of ICOs, they're welcoming of cryptocurrency businesses, but the US is another kettle of fish entirely. And number 12, they don't have an advisory body to steer them in the right direction, and again, they don't have partnerships as well. I can lump this in the same bracket. And what I mean by this is they simply don't have people that have blockchain experience to take them forward. They might have a good idea, they want to build a cryptocurrency mining farm, that's fine, but they simply don't have the advisory body that can steer this project to success and avoid the icebergs that will eventually sink the Titanic, I believe. So advisors are one thing, partners are another. This project doesn't have any partnerships which can elevate this to success either. There's no Amazix doing their bounty campaign. There's no, I would say, a PR company behind them marketing it. There's so many deficiencies in the structure, and advisors and partners are certainly 2 of those major deficiencies. So, final verdict time, and I think you know what I'm going to give it. It is a risky investment at the current time, and in fact, in my opinion, it's far too risky. So I can only give it 1 star out of 5. The reason I am giving it a 1 star out of 5 is because I think it's a bold, a bold move. I think, and you got to give them credit for trying. Plus, also cloud mining, if they can get a cloud mining facility running and they do sell contracts and they do get the software running, then there's certainly some potential there. But for me, it's far too high a risk. Given the red flags, given the team's inexperience and everything else, it's far too risky for me. So I'm sitting this one out, but I thought I'd bring it to you guys anyway because the CEO of the company asked me to do the review, so I have done it. And brought it to your attention, so hopefully more people can ask some questions, and perhaps if the team or the people running the project have any comments, they can post below as well and maybe alleviate some of the issues that I've raised here and alleviate some of the concerns that people may have. So that being said, I will be back tomorrow with another ICO review probably. I have 4 that I've lined up now that have been on my radar recently, and 4 very interesting projects, so I'm going to try and get through them in the next 4 days if I can. As ever, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only, guys. If you're going to invest in anything, especially ICOs, and ICOs pose inherent risk, they're not guarantees of making any money whatsoever. You can lose money on them quite easily, so bear that in mind. If you are going to invest, never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always do your own research. Always do your own due diligence. Don't listen to YouTube influencers. Please, guys, it's the quickest way to get wrecked. Always invest with wisdom and caution as well. Do your research, guys. That's the main thing. And I hope this helps. But as I say, it's only meant for entertainment purposes, and it's purely my opinion. And we know that opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, and this is mine. So I'll see you tomorrow, I guess, with a new review.